Hi, I'm Jean Nolte, editor at Fons & Porter.
And I'm Colleen Tauke, the sewing specialist for Fons & Porter. In this tutorial, we will be showing you how to create the Japanese lanterns quilt.
For the pattern for this quilt, go to shopfonsandporter.com/quiltingquickly. Okay, so this quilt is made using a pack of 2.5-inch pre-cut strips. These are Asian fabrics because it has kind of an Asian feel to the quilt.
Lantern.
Yeah, so, and a background fabric. So the background fabric is cut from yardage. So the first thing we need to do is make one of these blocks. And it is made from 3 components. You need 2 of these.
Sections.
Yep, 2 of these. And then just 1 rectangle. So you'll see how they are there. So I think the first thing we'll make is this diagonal seams unit.
Okay.
So
it's created from 1 rectangle like this and 2 squares. Now, the squares are triangles. We have to make them into triangles.
that's the diagonal seams method.
That's the diagonal seams. So what we're going to do is just take a straight edge and mark them from corner to corner across like this so we can see where we're stitching.
And it doesn't matter, you can use permanent marker there because that's never going to show, really. But we usually use a light marker.
Right. Okay, and then we need to orient those on the rectangle so that this is the shape we're going
It
for.
looks like that, so the seam lines are going to be along here.
As you orient your square on the end, you'll want to double check to make sure that the angle is going to be correct.
That
like
looks
this.
good.
So we'll pin that one in place, and we'll go ahead and do the other side also, pinning it. Now if I were to lay it like this,
Ooh,
it doesn't
that
match.
wouldn't work.
So we got to rotate just a little bit further, pin that one in place. And we won't have to worry about 1/4-inch seams because we're going to be sewing right on the line. I have one of them finished here, and we'll add the second to it.
So yeah, you're going to stitch right on that line.
Yep, no 1/4-inch seams to worry about. Here we go. Take out pins as you approach, just so you don't damage them or the needle in your machine. Okay. Take it out, and then we'll double check to make sure we have it correct.
We double check to make sure that it looks
Everything
like this.
looks
and
right.
Sure enough.
And you can finger press at this point. You can go back to the ironing board and press it nicely. But what we'll do then on the back side is we have this extra layer of fabrics. We can trim those away. You can use a rotary cutter, but remember scissors still work to remove
It just
small
needs to be
things.
approximately a 1/4-inch
Correct.
seam. It doesn't need to be.
And we don't want that extra bulk in our project,
No.
so we'll take those away.
Just make sure you don't cut through the front one.
Yep, just make sure that's intact. Take away those triangles.
Okay. So then that's
Create
that.
piece.
I'll give it a press while you're doing the next part. Then we
Okay.
need to make
very-
another one of those.
The very bottom unit of our little lantern. So while you're pressing,
You're going to stitch just 3 little, these are cut out of the 2.5-inch strips.
Correct.
It's just a little section of one of the colored strips.
Now here, remember, we're going back to a 1/4-inch seam allowance, so we don't have a line to follow. Make sure you get an accurate 1/4-inch seam there. Kind of clean as you go, keeps your sewing nice and neat and tidy.
I noticed on this one, they just sort of wanted to be pressed toward the little triangles, and so that's how they are.
Making sure when you're using a white on white fabric, you're always going to want to make sure that you have the right side of the fabrics together.
Yeah, ask me how I know that.
We have taken out a few seams in our day, haven't we, Jean? Okay.
I think every quilter has a...
We do a little reverse sewing from time to time.
Yeah.
There we go.
So now this one, though, we're going to press toward the dark center fabric. So
Now we've got all the components that
like
go
it.
into our Japanese lantern blocks. And you'll see,
this is a tiny little thing.
fingers back out of the way. We don't want to steam ourselves.
So we'll put that here. Then all you need to do is join those, and you've got a block that looks like this. And then to make the quilt, we're going to join these blocks into rows with setting pieces of the background fabric. So those are actually rectangles of the background fabric. So, and they alternate a lantern and a background piece. And if you notice in the quilt, some of the rows start with lanterns on the edge, and some of them start with the background rectangles to offset them.
Right.
just to
It's
give it a
kind of
little more
like
interest.
they're floating. So you would align this here.
So that will
and
go there. You just keep going until you get the correct number,
lanterns here and here.
and there you go.
Japanese lanterns. Thanks for joining us today.
To see more of our videos, go to video.fonsandporter.com.